Welcome back to another video. This one is a Toyota 4Runner. We're going to be doing the rear pads and rotors on this as well as a single caliper. Customer supplied us with Brembos, so we're going to use those. So we're going to get right into it. First things first, get your wheel key out of your vehicle if you have one, and you can put it on there using a 21mm socket. Elevate the vehicle off the ground, either using a breaker bar or an impact gun. Remove your lug nuts. Once you got the wheel off, make your life easier, get a flathead screwdriver. Go on an angle like here, try to get in as far as you can, and then you want to pry towards you. This will help you save time in recoiling the piston back into the caliper. So I've gone ahead and I've already gone and recoiled it back as far as I can. So now I can see that it's almost all the way in. I'm gonna try a little bit more because it makes my life easier. You can also see that the grinding on this vehicle because there's no more brake pad left. With a 17mm socket and a ratchet, you're going to break the upper and lower caliper slider screws free. After you've removed both your upper and your lower, you can now remove your caliper. Piston's almost flush, so I'm gonna have to get a C-clamp or a caliper tool to push it more so it's almost flush. Okay, now you can take off your pads. Okay, as you can see, no pad left. So we're gonna take off the caliper now. With that same 17mm socket, you're gonna remove the lower and the upper caliper bolt so you can get rid of the bracket. All right, so now we got the caliper bracket off. So when you go to try to take it off, you might have an issue like this, where it won't move, it won't come off. There's these holes that are in here. One of these is gonna be a peephole. You just have to find which one it is. How you can do that is if you look with a flashlight, you can't see through it, can't see through it, can't see through it, can't see through it. You can see through it on this side. You wanna bring this one all the way down to the 6 o'clock. And once you're here at 6 o'clock, you're gonna use your light, line it up, you're gonna see a little wheel in there. That little wheel that's in there, you're gonna use a flathead, and you're gonna put it in. You wanna push the wheel down, not up, okay? Again, push it down. Basically how you can do it, you're gonna go in on an angle and just like that, flick it down, okay? And what that's gonna do is the e-brake shoe is going to recoil itself back in. Then it will allow you to take your rotor off. And then once you've got it down enough, it will just easily come off. Set it to the side unless you're gonna use it. I'm not gonna be reusing this one. This one is absolutely chewed up. Look at the thickness between the front and the rear. We're gonna clean this all up with some brake clean, but for your reference, if you look right here, this is the hole you're gonna look through on your rotor, and it's just sitting right there, okay? That right here is going to be your little wheel that you're going to use. So you just look through the hole, you can see the wheel, and then get a better shot down here, right there. All right, so we've gone ahead and we've cleaned all this up so you can get a better idea. So there's tons of life on these brake shoes left, so these don't need to be changed. These are every like 150 to 200,000, even maybe even more. Sometimes it's lifetime. But anyways, we've cleaned it all up. Now we're gonna put the rotor on. With the rotor back on and the caliper bracket, don't forget to change out your old brake hardware. Okay, get rid of this stuff, put on new stuff. With the new pads on as well, I put a little bit of grease on the corners to make your life easier. I also put grease on the front and the back side. It just helps with keeping it more quiet when you're braking. Now you're gonna get your caliper, put your caliper on top. If you didn't do the first step, when you have it all ready and exposed to you by recoiling the caliper piston back in, what you'll do now is you're going to take your caliper, put a brake pad in there, and if you use a C-clamp, you can have a C-clamp and kind of suspend the C-clamp in there to push the piston back in. Or if you got a caliper tool that has a ratcheting head on it, you can also do it that way. Whatever method, there's so many different caliper tools out there. But now you need to recoil your caliper back into the piston. Once you've done that, you can lay it on top of here. For those of you that didn't do it, this is what you basically would do. Put your pads on there and a C-clamp and then just tighten it back in to push that piston that last little bit in there so you're nice and flush. Make sure you tighten up your caliper bolt. for your slider pin, as well as your caliper bracket back here, 17 with a 17. And then that's pretty much it. You're done. That is how you do pads and rotors on the back of a Toyota 4Runner. Now I'm going to go to the other side, and I'm not going to film it because you don't need to see it 2 times. However, on the other side, I'm going to be doing a caliper. So I'll show you how to do that as well if you're here to learn how to do a caliper as well. Anyways, that is pretty much how you do it. All right, moving on to the caliper part. So if you're replacing your caliper on the back of a 4Runner, this is basically what you're gonna do. On the back side of here down below, you're gonna have a banjo bolt. This is a 14 millimeter that you need to break free. When it's on the brake bracket, caliper bracket, you can take it off. If you have it loose like this, you're never gonna get it off. So make sure you keep your caliper on, and you're gonna take your 14 millimeter wrench, and you can put it in on an angle here or here, however you want to do it, and just yank it forward. It won't be on there with too many foot-pounds of pressure, so you can easily break it off. Unscrew it and let it come out completely. And then you're just going to let it free flow and dry in. Never, ever, ever, ever let your calipers hang, okay? Never let them hang by the hoses. You're just asking for problems. So I'm done with this caliper because the customer doesn't want to keep it. So I'm done with it. I'm going to give it back to them so they can return it and get their core back. But that's that. Leave the banjo bolt dripping like that the whole time, okay? If you want, you can use a hose clamp to stop it from doing that. Personally, I've just always left them alone. So just be fast, essentially. Now we're gonna do what we did on the video beforehand, removing all of this. So the new caliper is on now. This is a 2-person bleed. Somebody's in there pumping it for me. So they're pushing and holding it down. So we're gonna open it up, and then the caliper fluid comes through. On this kind of vehicle, you won't be able to do this bleed with the engine off. The vehicle has to be running so that the ABS pump is working for you and helping you out. After you've done the job, don't forget to go for a road test to make sure that it's ready to be fit for the road. And then once you've done that, you're good to go. Tighten your lug nuts on there to your factory foot-pounds spec, and you are good to go. Make sure that you double check the level of fluid on your reservoir, and you're good to go.